More than 250 free schools are open across England. Funded by government and free to attend, these brand new state schools offer a high-quality education to children from all backgrounds.
I thought it would give her the best opportunity to engage with the subjects that she was learning.
Every morning when he comes in for school, I can't catch him, he's off like a rocket.
If I compare it to other schools, this is maybe number one choice of mine.
She's going to get opportunities that my older two kids didn't have.
The kids are all going to get the best education they can. What more do you want?
Free schools are in demand, addressing deprivation, the need for new places, and driving up standards. Free schools are opening all over England, and 5% of them cater for children who have special educational needs. Meet Corey and Adama. Corey is 4.5 and loves making models of the planets.
Is it called the big red spot or the great red spot? I can't remember.
Great red spot.
Oh, sorry.
You wish your child was born with a manual on how to be a parent, which obviously isn't the case.
Is it a rocky planet or is it a gaseous planet?
Rocky planet.
Okay. And where do we live? Do you know where we live?
On the earth.
Oh, right.
I knew he was different, you know, and from day one really, you know, he was really different, and he's my first child, so I didn't know what to expect, but I think mums know. I started doing some research and I thought, I think he has autism. And I told my GP at 8 months old. He said, no way you can know at 8 months old if your son's got autism. And I didn't know, you know, I was very naive about it all. I called up the National Autistic Society and I said, look, you know, my son's doing this, he's doing that. He's like, he doesn't eat, he hasn't called me mummy. He spins around in circles and he can't transition from one activity to another. I think he has autism. What am I going to do? How am I going to get him diagnosed? And in the end, I had to bang some tables at the GP to get, you know, to get him formally assessed, and then eventually we got a diagnosis.
Sorry, what's the name of that camera?
Corey has what is known as high-functioning autism. This means he is as academically able as other children his age and would likely be placed in a mainstream school. But this is often not ideal.
So they go to your local primary school and your local secondary school, but the environment there is far too chaotic and overwhelming for them to actually make progress in their learning. In West London, there is a big need, there is a big issue. These are the young people that get excluded from school every week, you know, for 2 days, and then they go back in on Monday, and by Wednesday they're being excluded again. And it's not because they can't cope with the work, it's they can't cope with the environment and the way things in mainstream work.
Children like Corey need additional help that might include occupational and speech therapy and access to behavioural specialists in order to thrive. And in the grounds of Feltham Community College in West London, temporary buildings for a groundbreaking free school are under construction. It will be opening in September 2014 and will be known as The Rise.
Our oldest child is autistic, very bright but autistic, and we could not find a school that offered him the support he needed alongside the academic challenge that would help him lead a meaningful life as an adult. And we kept meeting other parents in the same situation as us, who were at their wits' end trying to find a school.
Like many free schools, The Rise was conceived by a group of parents. They worked in partnership with 2 autism organisations, Dimensions and Ambitious About Autism.
We thought that the free school policy offered a fantastic opportunity to actually craft that model and really seek to transform the life chances of children with autism.
I was looking for something that can give me everything, you know, the best for him. And I got an email. I got an email from a local charity talking about the Rise School. And, you know, immediately when I read the first paragraph, all the hairs stood up on my arms, because I thought, this sounds just like what I'm looking for. I couldn't, honestly, I just said, please, you know, this has to work. So I immediately called.
There is a statistic that is very real, in that only 15% of young people with autism go on to university training or further education or employment, and we're tipping that on its head and saying that from the RISE school, 85% of our pupils will.
And for these new pupils, over the summer holidays, a fun-packed activity day has been organised. And as the temporary buildings aren't yet ready, the RISE's partner school has offered a great space.
So this is oil, yeah. So what we've done is we've put some water in it with some food colouring, and that's what made our lava. Let's put it inside and see what happens. It's pretty foamy already because we shook it up quite a bit. Pop it in there. So what do you think is going to happen? Look at that, it's making all those bubbles.
No, it's foaming.
Oh, it is foaming. I need some tissue.
Now that is what you call a bleeding heart.
They've been able to meet some of the staff that they'll be involved with. They've also been able to meet their classmates. And the activities have all been set up so that we can start to see what may pose more of a challenge and what, you know, where some of the issues may lie, I suppose, when we come to actually trying to run a timetable.
Last night before Sam went to sleep, he said to me, he said, "Dad, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow." He said, "I'm going to go to a place for the first time in my life. The children are going to understand me. They're going to look at me and they're not going to worry about my tics. They're not going to think I'm strange, and they're not going to take the mickey out of me." That's the first time my son's ever said anything like that. Really, really made me well up. It was wonderful.
When he's an adult, we want him to be able to sustain work and hopefully be independent, live on his own.
You can't imagine how excited he was about going to the fun day. He was so happy. And on the way he was saying, "I'm smiling, Mummy, look, I'm smiling," you know, so it just made my heart sing. And he went in there like skipping into the room. And when I picked him up at the end of the day, he'd made a friend. You know, he made a friend, and he knew his name, and they were very similar. You know, I don't know, I haven't met any children similar to my son, so it's the first time I was like, oh, these are all like, these kids are like my son, you know, it's like very similar.
The RISE school is co-located with Feltham Community College, which is a mainstream secondary school, and that is absolutely set in our vision of the school, so that the pupils at secondary age can access a proportion of their timetable and their learning within a mainstream classroom with the right support to do so.
I think for us what we were most excited about is the real specialism they bring, the Autism Trust behind it. Because one of the things we'd identified was, particularly with our autistic students, was progression on from school and progression on into sort of further higher education and into the workplace.
You know, they need to be able to cope with and socialise in and communicate in a wide range of settings, so and meet a lot of different people, and being in a class of 8 isn't always going to give you that.
What we're doing with the RISE School is something genuinely innovative, and which brings its own set of challenges, because you don't necessarily have a track record to show people what it is that you're trying to do. And we were very fortunate to have a fantastically inclusive and welcoming partner in Feltham Community College, and it's been brilliant to come together with them to form a joint curriculum and for both sides really to benefit from what's being offered in that model.
And following the summer's building work, the temporary site is complete and ready for the children.
The children have been amazing. They've settled in so well. When you consider it's a new school with new staff and all new children, nobody knows anybody, they're doing really, really well.
He was a great cartoonist and inventor. I'm also a cartoonist. Let me show you.
And we were talking about a pulley, okay, to move things around and move things along.
As a parent, you know what your child needs, you know, almost more than anybody. He has a lot of potential, and the way to unlock it needs specialist support, really, I think, to unlock that potential, and I don't want to lose that.
We're delighted that they're open. It's been fantastic welcoming the new students to the RISE, and I think our students have also been very excited about them coming. So here they are, and long may they stay here.
He's excited, I'm so excited. And I honestly, it's like winning the lottery for me, for him to have him there.